All right, this is what did I say this was? Oh, Oscars. Oscars Best Picture. Take one. Welcome back to another episode of HM and Big E review things. In this episode, we are going to be talking briefly, very briefly, about the 2022 Oscars Best Picture nominations.
Right.
Between the two of us, we have seen all of these movies.
That's right.
Over the past, I don't know, a couple months. Some of them came out quite some time ago, and we'll try to remember them. But we're just going to go over them quickly, kind of tell you what they were about, and kind of our general thoughts, if we can remember them. So we're going to start in alphabetical order. The 10 Best Picture list. The first one is Belfast, a black and white kind of childhood retelling by Kenneth Branagh. You didn't see this.
It's on my list. I haven't had time.
Yeah, I watched it and I was fairly bored.
But that is the Best Picture category.
Yes, that may be a reoccurring theme, but it's a black and white story, but it tells a story about this Irish family. And the boy, actually, I thought the boy actor was really good. And actually, all the actors are really good. Because who's the Dorian, whatever, the guy from 50 Shades, who's actually a really good actor.
Right.
And actually, you had Judi Dench in it, and what was the grandpa's name? I don't remember. But you got really good actors, and so I thought the acting was really good. But I just thought the story, it didn't really connect with me. Maybe it was the pacing. Maybe some of the look. It just looks a bit creepy because of the black and white. Some of the cinematography is very good cinematography, but just overall, not enough happens to kind of keep me interested. Belfast, the story about this Irish family growing up in the times of political and religious turmoil.
I don't think it'll win.
When he was growing up. I don't think it'll win either. So that's Belfast. Okay, the next movie is Coda.
Coda, Children of Deaf Adults.
Children of Deaf Adults. And in this story, this is a good feel-good story.
Absolutely.
About a young girl who is the child of deaf parents, and as well her brother is also deaf, so she is the only abled hearing person in the family, I think.
Right.
And so, and she develops a passion for music, which I actually really liked. So really nice, and I thought all the dialogue, everything, that family felt very real.
It felt very real. The acting was really good. They casted deaf actors, and I think it's sort of a coming of age tale as well. And it's a story about understanding each other and communication and what that means. And the scene at the end, the song at the end is very well done. Mm-hmm. It's very emotional, and I really think that this one should win more than it's nominated for. But
yeah, I agree with you. And actually, well, a couple of the more recent awards ceremonies, it is winning stuff. So it's getting some buzz that it could be a contender for Best Picture. I really a couple of the standout things to me, there was that one scene kind of near the peak of the movie where they're kind of fighting and then the brother walks out. And I thought it was going to go one way where, he just felt that, it's always her doing everything and he's kind of neglected. But it wasn't really about that. It was, his message was that, like, they can survive without her.
That's right.
I really like that. Again, it felt real. It felt real as opposed to standard movie trope of, oh, it's always about you and that kind of thing. But it's not. It's about we'll learn to manage. They'll learn to manage how to interact with us, and we'll figure it out. We can do it, and that kind of thing. I thought that was good. And
it's a very solid movie. It helps people understand the deaf community more and what they go through. And it's not always pleasant. And it's a very good movie. I would like it to win, but the Best Picture usually does not go to a feel-good movie. It's usually, the more depressing it is, with some kind of method acting or whatever, it's going to win that.
And black and white usually helps.
Yeah, black and white.
Belfast.
Yeah.
So that's Coda. Sorry, I guess we should, I don't know if we remember these movies enough to give it a score, but Belfast, I would give it a B at most, because honestly, it was a little bit of a slog to get through for me. What's your score for Coda?
A.
Yeah, I would give Coda an A too. The only thing that I really didn't like about Coda was, and it's unavoidable because it's a coming of age story, but I thought the entire boyfriend plot, the entire character and plot could have been lifted out, and could be just about her and her family, her love of music, her relationship with the music coach, that kind of thing. That was enough of a story without having to add the boyfriend
Yes,
drama.
but at the same time, I felt it wasn't that intrusive. They do some songs together. It's a little bit of he needs to be there to understand her world, right? There's that funny scene in there where they meet the parents for the first time and the dad's really crude. They need something like that.
Right, sure.
So I'm okay with that.
Okay. But I would give that an A too, a very solid A, yeah. And I think jumping down from that score a little bit, the next movie on the nomination list is Don't Look Up. Adam McKee, something like that. I forget it's the director. Who's done very funny things in the past. And this is a political satire.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It doesn't deserve to be a Best Picture nominee. Certainly,
100%.
It's watchable. It has somewhat of a story. It's got big name stars, a lot of big name stars that were paid gazillion dollars to be in this movie, but quite forgettable. I don't really think I would watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, we just reviewed the Adam Project on this channel. Check out that video. This is in that kind of same line of, it was entertaining enough to watch, big enough stars, pretty forgettable.
Does not deserve to be in the mention.
Definitely does not the Best Picture. Okay, what's your overall score for Don't Look Up?
It's like a C+.
Yeah, C plus for me. Yeah, C plus is a good one. Yeah, I'll take that too.
Like, I don't know if we should be scoring in terms of whether this is going to win the Oscar or not.
Oh, God, well, there's zero chance.
No, there's zero chance. But all these movies, maybe we should have a final. What do
you think is going to win? Yeah, okay, yeah, we can do that. All right, well, the next one I didn't watch. The next one is Drive My Car by...
You're not going to be able to say it.
I'm not going to say it.
It's a Japanese movie. It's all in Japanese. It's about loss, I would say, and grief, and how people deal with that. If you think Belfast is probably a slog, this can be. Although, I would say, if you go in with the right mindset, it's a 3-hour movie where
he's mostly in the
car, in his classroom, and there's a lot of silence.
Yeah.
It's what people would say poignant. It's very subtle. All the themes in there. But I would say definitely, I might have to rewatch this. 3 hours is a lot, though. It's hard to rewatch a 3-hour movie like this. But I can see why this is in the Oscar nomination category. It hits some of those check marks where it's poignant, it's subtle, it's beautifully shot. The cinematography, the sound editing, all that stuff is done pretty well.
Yeah.
Again, this probably, 200 people in Canada probably watched this movie.
It's on my list, but...
Yeah. And again, it's a foreign film, though. So Parasite won already. I don't know if they're going to give it to them.
Right. So that's Drive My Car, and I'm going to try it. Teruhisa Yamamoto.
What do I know? I think so.
Yeah.
But he's done a few good movies before, so this is like another hit for you in terms of critically acclaimed.
But I mean, it's good that you bring up Parasite. I think it is good that the Academy, I guess, is more open to recognizing films, international films, like outside of
this. This whole category is weird to me. Why, when I was growing up, it's 5 movies. Why put 10? Just eliminate the 5 that are not that good and make it 5 like every other.
Not be on here.
Yes, there are some movies that should not be on theirs, and then there's some that you're like, this is groundbreaking enough. Yeah. This acting is amazing. Some of this is just nonsense.
Right. No. So that's Drive My Car. What's your final score on Drive My Car?
I'd probably give it an A- for what it is.
Okay.
If you're comparing to Spider-Man No Way Home, it's a different type of movie.
Well, speaking of large budget science fiction blockbusters, the next nomination on the list is Dune.
Dune, yes.
Denis Villeneuve.
Great director. Almost like everything he does, including Blade Runner 2049. Arrival. He has a certain style, and that not everybody will gravitate toward. And I would say this is it's a reenactment of the book. If you like.
Have you read the book?
Of course not. Oh. Who's read the book? Okay. Have you seen the movies with Patrick Stewart?
I have not. Have you? You love Patrick Stewart.
Not. It's a long movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think historically the Academy kind of snubs a bit at kind of blockbuster sci-fi, especially. This is a beautifully shot movie. I think there's so many shot compositions. I saw there was a video essay kind of talking about how he shows scale really, really well.
Of course, yeah.
How he establishes the size of something, and that's in the shot for the next thing to show how big.
Ironically, I don't think he was nominated for Best Director.
He wasn't. That was kind of a snub that he was, Best Picture, but not.
So if anything, I would say this should be moved to Best Director category and maybe not Best Picture category.
We can talk about the directors.
It's not going to win. Okay, look, it's not going to win. Number one, because of what you just said, but number two, it's part one of a part two movie. So it's like Lord of the Rings. You're not going to give it to the first part of it.
Correct. Overall score for Dune, which was a very enjoyable movie.
I'd definitely give it.
As a sci-fi fan,
I'd give it an A.
I think I left the movie giving it a B+, thinking that it was a really good movie.
Incomplete, though?
Yeah, well, even the fact that, of course it was incomplete. It ends with to be continued or part 2 or whatever. But I thought the movie itself was almost a joining of two parts. The first half and the second half were paced and kind of felt so different.
Yeah.
Right? The lead up to that massive battle, and then after the battle.
Part of it is hard to fault him for it because he's going off a book. Mm-hmm. He has to do what the book says. It's a different... the problem with Best Picture is this is exactly what it is. All of these are so different.
Yeah.
That it's hard to be comparing Drive My Car to Dune.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't like this category in general.
So I'll stick with my B+ for Dune. And the next movie... I don't know... Have you seen King Richard?
Yes, I have.
King Richard, starring Will Smith, about the father... Richard Williams, the father of the two Williams sisters, superstars of tennis. What do you think about this film?
Solid film, obviously you know the story. Quite a feel-good type of film, and what do I say about it? It's well acted. The pacing's good, direction's good. Again, it's pretty much based on their life, so you kind of know what happens. They become superstars. I
think this is the best that Will Smith has been in a while.
Yes, I'm trying to remember what he's been in. Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. Was that nominated? We should look at it.
Yes. It's a good watch.
Yeah.
And I don't think it probably should win Best Picture.
I think he's in contention to win Best Actor. I don't think it'll win Best Picture either.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll win. Yeah, this was a very enjoyable movie. My wife didn't know what this movie was about, and when I asked her to watch it with me, she was dreading, and she was, okay, let's watch King Richard. She thought it was some medieval British thing. And I was like, oh no, you'd really like this. This is a sports feel-good movie. And then she ended up really, really enjoying it as well.
Yes.
Overall score for King Richard?
It's like an A- for me.
Yeah, A-. I would go with A- too. Enjoyable, easy to watch, meaningful. It's good kind of... I do really like, and it tends to be the case for a lot of these sports movies, where it's a kind of like human spirit and kind of pushing through. And
overcoming adversity.
Exactly, yeah. King Richard. Okay, the next one is Licorice Pizza by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Right, yes.
This is... I don't know how to describe this movie.
It's a coming-of-age tale.
Is it? Okay, sure.
About love.
About
falling in love.
About a 25-year-old girl falling in love with a 15-year-old boy. And then how they fall out of love and in love and kind of...
And time passes.
Does it?
Yeah, well, I hope so.
I'm not sure. So, this is actually, they were saying this is very similar to Belfast in terms of, this is another director's love letter to kind of their childhood.
Sure.
They talk about, it's set in where they grew up. They're trying to tell a story.
The valley,
yeah, the valley that romanticizes and kind of has all these spots about it. And so, this movie did not do it for me. I watched it. Nothing was particularly compelling. I thought the actress, something Haim, I forget. I thought she did pretty good. I thought as a first kind of feature film, she did really, really well. I thought the male actor,
Philip
Seymour Hoffman's son.
That's right. I forgot his name.
Too bad that he has to be known that way. I also forgot his name. I thought he did okay. He wasn't as good as the girl, but the acting was good. But the story went nowhere, which is okay for some of these slice of life movies sometimes. But
have some fun with it.
Have some fun. Have some character.
So
I couldn't.
I'm selling an actress and it's serious.
I couldn't get into this movie at all. I watched it. This might be my lowest rated of my...
I think this director directed that oil...
Magnolia and...
No, with the... it's not coming to my mind.
Boogie Nights? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the one with Daniel Day-Lewis. It won a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, it's not coming to me. It's about Haze and Oil, and it's about Paul Dano is in it from the Batman.
Okay.
Right. It's a lot of that stuff where it's very subtle. He doesn't overtly say anything.
Yeah.
But that won a ton of awards.
Okay. So you're saying I'm just too stupid to understand this.
No, I'm not saying that.
I think I am. Actually.
I'm saying that
I don't get it.
There's an audience that thinks this type of stuff is
right.
is really great. Now, again, I just it's not my type of movie.
Yeah.
I felt like if you're going in with this love letter to your valley, and then your childhood, make it a little bit more fun. Maybe his childhood wasn't fun. I don't know. You know, it just was offbeat. Maybe use the word.
Yes, that's actually a good word. Because I mean, you say not fun. It wasn't like it was depressing or sad. It was just kind of things just sort of happen, and they're not exciting things. They're not kind of super dramatic things. But again, I was joking, but I do think that basically I have not watched enough movies to appreciate and to understand what he's trying to do. But it didn't work.
Sort of that thick line between is this genius or just a mess, right? Sometimes movies that win Best Picture are often these type of movies.
True.
That it's not going to appeal to wide.
I don't think this will win.
No, I don't think it'll win. But it doesn't. It's not going to appeal to the widest audience.
Yeah.
That's Best Picture in a nutshell, right? You're not putting Spider-Man or the Batman in this. You're putting all these kind of movies that most people would say, what was that about?
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
But for me, overall grade for Licorice Pizza, I would give a C minus. It didn't work for me at all. I think it's my lowest rated of all these 10.
Yeah,
what's your rating?
Yeah, probably a C. Maybe a C plus because of the artsy stuff I saw in it.
I didn't even see or really appreciate any of the really artsy stuff. I didn't get it. I didn't like it.
Sure.
I didn't get it. All right. Next movie, actually a movie I like a lot. The next nominee is Nightmare Alley. Guillermo del Toro, starring Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Norman Osborn,
William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
It's a good character tale.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like you kind of knew the ending was coming. They telegraphed the ending pretty early.
It's what do you call it? Tragedy.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Yeah. In that literary definition of that word, where you can see the person being built up for his eventual downfall, and you're waiting for that to happen.
You're waiting for that, and it's based off a book, which is based off, and that was made into a movie in the 50s or something. They're redoing it, right?
Yes.
So so I think the acting is fantastic in this movie. I think the set design and cinematography is very borderlines on the fantastic kind of stuff that this director is known for, but he doesn't add mystical elements in this. Yep. It's a straight up, crime kind of black, film noir type of tragedy story. So I think this is definitely worth a watch. I think this is definitely interesting, and it keeps you engaged the whole time.
Yeah, and I think the actors did really, really well. I think Bradley Cooper did a good job. He's a likable kind of leading man type of thing.
He has a lot of range.
He does, yeah.
And I think has he won an Oscar? Because he should. Silver
Playbook.
I mean, did he win that? I don't know. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I think he is really good. I definitely would recommend watching this movie. I don't know if it gets into the A category for me. If it is, maybe it's a B plus.
B plus, yeah.
Yeah, B plus. I think the acting is all really good. Oh, and Toni Collette is in it, and I think she's really good as well. Some of the cinematography is really nice, but just a predictable story, but good, solid movie.
Good, solid movie. Yeah.
Well, and then our second last one, our penultimate one that we're going to discuss is the, I guess, widely buzzed to be the favorite.
There's a lot of nominations.
The Power of the Dog, the movie with the most nominations this year. I think 12 nominations across different categories. What do you think about The Power of the Dog?
It fits really nicely into a Best Picture nomination, right? It's got, good acting. It's got the cinematography. She's a front runner to win the director's award. It's sad as heck at some points. It is poignant. All those words. It's bleak, method acting, all that kind of stuff is thrown into this movie. So I could see why. I would put it this way. If it wins 6 out of these 12 awards, I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to run away with quite a few awards. And I think people will be quite shocked if it doesn't win anything.
That would be a crazy upset. Yeah, I think this was I didn't know what this movie was, going into it. It was kind of got a bit dark. I thought all the acting was fantastic. I can't remember a movie that I really, really liked Kristen Dunst a lot, but I thought she did really good this one. Mm-hmm. Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously a great actor. Cody Smith-McPhee, the son or the stepson or whatever, the nephew, I guess, to Benedict Cumberbatch's character, also did really well. I thought the acting was all just top notch. I normally don't like westerns, but I don't think this really categorizes as a western. I think it's just set in that time period. I don't think there's anything that's particularly western-y feeling about it. It tells a tale about what is it about? There's that kind of mental.
It's about, I think, power and control and abuse.
Yeah. That's a good way to summarize it. And kind of like the sources of that and how it plays out.
Right, yeah. And we're not trying to spoil anything, but it is that, and I think it's going to win quite a bit of stuff.
Would you recommend the average moviegoer to watch it?
I think the average moviegoer is not going to enjoy it. They're going to say nothing happens.
Yeah,
sort of, really, because this
it's a really serious movie.
Serious movie,
but again, Best Picture. That's
there's no gunfighting in a western.
There's
horseback chasing.
Right.
It's just people talking and mocking each other and long shots of people staring at each other. And
okay, so Buzz for favorite for Best Picture. What's your final score for Power of the Dog?
This one's hard. If it didn't win any awards, I'd probably give it like a B.
Yeah.
Right, but because it's in Best Picture, you're like, oh, it's better than, So I don't know, maybe B plus, B. Can't really give it an A, just on enjoyment level. But I'd be appreciated. I appreciate it. That's why it's a B+.
I did appreciate it too. I do think there are probably better movies on this list. I'd B. I would give it a B.
This is a hard thing to do.
This is tough.
Best Pictures in general, they're all over the place.
It's all over the place.
It's like, what are you grading this on?
Okay, well, let's wrap it up with the final nominee, West Side Story. Steven Spielberg.
Did not watch. Gonna watch it, but then after you told me about your rating, I didn't want to watch it.
So my backstory of this is I have not seen the original movie, which is very acclaimed.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing there was a musical at some point, probably.
Oh yeah. It's iconic.
It's iconic, but it's so clearly from a different time. I am a huge fan of modern Broadway, and I don't have the history to appreciate kind of the classic Broadway just yet. And I know, there's a lot to fully appreciate one, you really kind of need to delve into the other. I'm not quite there yet. And I think this is a landmark of historical musicals, right? And, some of the songs, even though if you haven't seen it, some of these songs. There's a couple of shots that Spielberg framed in his cinematography that really do stand out. But overall, I thought the movie was so slow. And again, because I didn't connect with the music, it
3 hours? Is it 3 hours?
It is
close, right? All these movies are 3 hours now.
Yeah. Normally in a musical, like the musical numbers kind of keep you going and kind of like trucks the movie along. And I couldn't connect with any of the songs here too much, and so it definitely felt very long. And then and then the ending happens and it's okay. This is and West Side Story. I think even blatantly when it was written, this is Romeo and Juliet, and it's that same story, which is fine. But I wished kind of the musical numbers were more engaging, that I connected with them more. So even though visually it looks like it's a modern reshooting of an older setting, which they did really well, and I think some of the actors and actresses and singers did really well as well. Just tonally, it's really weird because it's about this really gritty gang, in New York trying to fight for their territory, and it talks about important things about racial kind of hatred against each other and that kind of prejudice. But then in the middle of the gang fight, it's a pirouette, and and he breaks into song, and it's really good dancing and really good singing, and the costume design is really good. I think they're nominated for costume as well. But it just totally, it seems really jarring.
Why was this movie made? I mean, why don't you just do the Hamilton thing where it's a musical and you film it?
Right. I don't know. But the reviews that I have read about or seen about West Side Story say that this is a really, really faithful, or not faithful. It's actually a good reinterpretation. Like it's a lot of the times now when we're in this Disney era of remaking old movies, it's like, why did this need to be made? Which is your question. But some people actually said, actually, this is a good standalone adaptation that stands up to the original. I did not think so. This is at best a B- for me. Possibly verging on C+. I know that the actors, it feels so bad to judge a movie like that you don't connect with, and I feel bad because I'm not really criticizing what the actors or what the director. I know there's so many moving parts to get a film together, but it's how I feel. It's kind of my enjoyment.
Spielberg is going to give you a good movie. He's one of the world's best directors, but I'm surprised he picked this project.
Yes and no. In the 90s, he was king.
Right, but
what has he done
for something?
What has he done recently that's kind of really...
But that's what I'm saying. He's done a lot of producing, so you're going to get... I mean, I'm not surprised he's sort of on this list of Best Picture. Maybe it's a passion project for him.
I guess. I mean, so it's a weird list, this Oscar nomination for Best Picture, as we've been kind of saying. It always
is, but cut it down to 5, right? It's just 10.
And there are some... so what is an honorable mention movie that you would put in this category that kind of would be a must-see for our many, many viewers?
Best Picture or just...
That you would say is Best Picture. Oh. That they should watch. That would be worthy.
I gotta review my list, you know.
The one that stands out to me would be Mass.
Yes. Mass is very good.
I was surprised that Mass didn't get nominated. I think it might have gotten nominated for one, maybe not.
Especially for acting.
Yeah. I thought it was so good for acting and just... Anyway... honorable mention for Mass. It's a very serious movie.
Extremely serious.
You have to be... It's about...
two grieving couples.
Two grieving couples, parents of children who were... One who was the perpetrator and one who was a victim of a school shooting. And the whole movie is really the four of them talking to each other. And
it's like... a play.
I could totally see it as a play. But really, really good performances by all four of the main characters. I mean, 90% of the movie is just shots around the four of them talking. And I thought I was surprised didn't get more nominations. I would definitely put that as an honorable mention. Anything else come to mind for you? Any other honorable mentions?
I mean, I for Best Picture, not really. I got to go review my list. I like The Quiet Place 2. There's a lot of movies. Yeah. Card Counter was pretty good. There's a lot of movies that I don't think they'll make Best
They would
Picture.
Never be Best Picture.
But they're pretty,
good movies that you should.
Pretty solid movies. Yeah. I mean, you know, we're going to even talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. And
yeah.
There's a lot of movies throughout this time, you know, during the pandemic that were pretty good.
Yeah. So maybe when we're still doing this by year end, we'll have a summary maybe of 2022 movies that we think we should watch and we would recommend for you to watch.
Cool.
Okay, anything else for Oscars? The Oscars is as of filming next week, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I never really watched the Oscars. I don't even know the awards, mean that much. I know they kind of do, but they really need to revamp some of these categories.
But that's why they have 10, because I think that it's still a prestige for, from nomination of Best Picture.
There's
Best
a lot of
Picture
participation awards here, right? Just do 5. What's the point? Eliminate.
I know,
5.
Yeah. Like when there's I don't know why they do 10. Because clearly there is a top 5 and a bottom 5.
That's right.
And so it's just, yeah. Anyway, so that is our episode on the Oscar nominations for Best Picture. Have you seen any of them? Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about what we think. Until next episode, keep watching things.
And subscribe, because we have nobody.
That's our sign off every time. Our desperate plea for subscribers. All right.